All right, you guys already know about reducing. So this next skill is going to be very, very simple. Generally with reducing, right, we would have two numbers in the same fraction that had a common factor. So you would, divide the top and the bottom of that same fraction by whatever number. Well, with canceling, it's going to be a little bit different. When you have this multiplication question, the two things with a common factor are going to be across the way from each other, right? So you'll notice 14 is divisible by 7. 49 is also divisible by 7. And we can also look up here. We say, okay, 24 is divisible by 3, and 15 is also divisible by 3. Now, you don't always have to cancel on both of the sort of diagonals or whatever, right? It doesn't always cancel in both directions. But you're always going to want to look for ways that you can cancel. Sometimes you'll cancel something and then it'll end up that you can reduce another fraction. But whatever you can do to make this stuff simpler, that's the goal. You want to make your life easier, not make your life harder. So once we find out our common factors, what are we supposed to do with that, right? Well, at that point, it's going to be very, very similar to the reducing. We're going to divide the top and the bottom by 7. And this time it's going to look a little bit something like this, okay? So we're going to divide that 14 by 7, that's on the top. And then we're going to divide this 49 by 7, that's for the bottom. Now in this case, the top is still getting divided by 7 and the bottom is still getting divided by 7. So the same thing is happening to the top and the bottom, it stays the same. But we're not going to divide like 15 by 7 because that would be kind of silly, right? That's not going to work. We're not going to divide 24 by 7 because that is not helpful to us. We're going to divide this number by 7 and this number by 7. And at the same time, we can also do the dividing by 3. Right? So we're going to divide the top by 3. We're going to divide the bottom by 3. We're going to do the same thing to the top and the bottom. Why? Because it has to stay equal. Canceling is still just making some stuff that it is equal and it looks a little bit different. It's going to be simpler, but it is still going to be equal. So we do the same thing to the top that we do to the bottom. In this case, we're going to do the 24 divided by 3, the 15 divided by 3. We're not going to divide 49 by 3 because that's not useful to us, right? Same thing, not 14. So when we do all of that, then we can do these one at a time. So 14 divided by 7, that's going to be a 2. 49 divided by 7 is going to be a 7. 24 divided by 3 is going to be an 8. And 15 divided by 3 will be a 5 over there. From there, we can write all this out, right? 2 times 8, that's going to be what this simplifies to, is 2 times 8 across the top and 5 times 7 across the bottom. Or this one simplified to 2/5. And then this is 8/7. So 2/5 times 8/7, what does that get us? It gets us 16 over 35. When you get to the end of a question like this, you're always going to want to double check because sometimes when you're in this middle step, you just didn't quite reduce some of these things or cancel some of these things enough, right? Maybe, you divide by 2, but it could have been divided by 4, just things like that. So you always just want to check when you get to here and see, oh, there's actually a little bit more that I could simplify here, or maybe there isn't. And then that's when you know that you're good, right? Awesome. Taking all of this is a crazy thing. If you need to watch this video twice, totally watch this video twice. It's a whole big, huge concept. It's a process that we're going to get the mechanics down first, and over time, the ideas are going to make more sense to us. So we're going to get, in our bones, like we like to do, okay? But the key thing is you have to do the same thing on the top that you do on the bottom. Always the same thing to the top and the bottom. And this is how I want you to write out all of your steps, right? So we want to have all of these steps here. Make it all clear. This gets really messy, this type of a thing. It gets really messy because you're dividing and dividing and dividing, and there's all this stuff happening, so many different things. It's hard to do, vertical math and all that kind of stuff. Try to keep this as neat as you possibly can, because also I'm going to make you redo it, right? I mean, you know this. So we'll all make you redo it if you don't keep it neat, but keep it as neat as you can in order to make sure that all of this stays clear on your paper, clear in your mind. All right, ready, set, practice.